Today at GIS, in the CSI What Killed My Turf seminar, a panel of experts discussed the latest information on dealing with stressors from disease to weather.
Here we've had 3 years consecutively with some serious heat and drought, and I don't think there's any other issue that would be on my mind as a superintendent other than this the heat and drought that occurred during the past 3 years. The superintendents have been coming with odd things, okay, root diseases, root problems, because the heat and the drought would just accelerate the symptom expression on root diseases. And we've also had a lot of questions about this new bacterial decline issue. The superintendents are really sharp. They know their dollar spot, their brown patch, their leaf spots, those sorts of things. But when you have levels of stress that we've had in the past several years, all of the odd, unusual things come out, and that's what was brought to my attention.
You know, I'm at Clemson University in South Carolina, and we have been growing creeping bentgrass there for the last 30 years or so. But it is one of the most stressful environments to do that. And particularly in the last 3 summers, we've broken heat records, and then we also get intermittent rainfall that can really take heat stress bentgrass and cause it almost to collapse and diseases to really proliferate. So in the past several years, in the context of those summers, we've been isolating and seeing bacteria that were associated with some of these highly stressed plants. And part of ongoing research at several universities to identify the bacteria and try to determine their role, whether they're primary causal agents or secondary.
You know, we're starting to see some more issues with pesticide resistance in a variety of areas. So we're having a little trouble controlling pests that were easier to control with some of the newer products over the past 10 or 15 years. So we're going to see some new diseases developing. The other big issue that we're seeing out here is water and drought stress, or being able to manage turf with the lowest amount of water, and water quality issues are becoming the biggest issue out here. We didn't get hit so bad with high temperatures, but we did get hit with water restrictions being probably the primary short-term future impact that superintendents are going to have to deal with.
So in advance of this year, you know, if you had several problems in the past, the idea is to do everything possible agronomically to relieve stress. I think good agronomics is the first step. And for creeping bentgrass greens in the Midwest, that means your core aerification in the spring. Don't skimp too much on the fertility program. Make sure your plants are well nourished. And I would actually raise the cutting height if I possibly could, and maybe substitute some rolling in there. Try to maintain your smooth, hard surfaces, but at the same time relieve as much stress as possible.
We're finding some things out. There's still an extreme amount to learn, and a lot of the progress has been made like it normally is from directed studies from graduate students. They're making real progress in identifying the organisms, and we're out in the field trying to kind of stop the bleeding. And this bacterial issue is kind of the latest iteration, I would say, of the stress that we go through. We have other stresses like nematodes and just the normal heat stress that we have of trying to manage bentgrass. I think the superintendents that are proactive can really explain what's going on. Will have a much better chance of being able to do the practices that they need to relieve the stress.